Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan.
Drip. Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go. First stream yesterday was supposed to be the conclusion of Resident Evil 0 Remastered. Now it was, just not the way that I think I or other people had expected. Basically, for the second time this run, and for the third time overall playing this game over the course of 8 years, I soft-locked myself again. I didn't have enough ammo or healing items to beat the Leech boss. And every time I went into the room, the boss would immediately grab me, and now I can't win because I can't get hit. I can only get hit twice, and then the fight is over. There wasn't enough space to shoot the thing. You know, I went back and I actually watched my playthrough of this from 2016. And in that run, I had 3+ healing items, an insane amount of grenade ammo. So because I had all of that, I was in a much better position to fight the guy, and I could just basically have both characters unload ammo into him. I don't even have as much ammo this run as I did back then. So basically the game's unbeatable, and I tried for like 30 minutes, and I was like, what am I doing this for? I'm 41 years old, all right? No one cares if I beat this game because I already have. It's not even like this is a game I haven't beaten yet. I already beat this 8 years ago on the same difficulty. We know what it ends. It's a terrible ending, by the way. The game itself is the worst numbered Resident Evil. It really is. I feel like it's absolutely awful. And it's just a test of patience rather than a test of skill or anything scary. It's just a fucking annoying game. So after getting that far, I said, fuck this. I want to do something else. And with a quick brainstorming session, I said, you know what? Let's do the Tekken 8 demo. Because my wife and I played it together about a week and a half ago. She was playing and I was, helping her with it. And it was really fun. With Tekken 8 coming out Friday, I thought this would be a good preview of it. So, on the fly, I downloaded the Tekken 8 demo to my PS5. And we did multiple modes. First, we just went into player versus CPU. And I went right to ultra hard difficulty, the hardest level there is. And with Paul Phoenix, the character who I'm actually quite good with, that's the one I've played with over the years, I fought against all 4 characters. Paul, Nina Williams, Kazuya Mishima, and Jin Kazama. So, went in there, fought them all, beat them all. I said, alright, let's check out arcade mode. So, arcade mode is a simulated mode where you're basically like an arcade goer, and you meet other people in an arcade, and you hang out, you become friendly, you challenge everyone in the arcade, you play them all at Tekken, you level your character up, and then you get in a simulated tournament, you fight in the tournament, and then basically it says, oh, what this is going to be is almost like a world tour mode, where you're going to be able to go to different arcades and challenge people of different skill levels. You'll be able to level up your avatar and put clothing on them. You'll be able to level up the characters in the game and customize them. So it's a fun mode in that regard, and especially for someone who maybe is trying to learn more than one character. You can switch characters in between matches. So maybe, you want to play with a character you know and a character you don't know, and then try to learn slowly. It's kind of a cool way to do that. So it was fun. It was really fun. And then after that, which I didn't even know because I didn't do this when my wife had played, it unlocked another mode called Ghost Mode. Now, what Ghost Mode does is it unlocks AIs as created by the game devs. But what this eventually will do is create an AI of yourself based on your gameplay mechanics, the things you do. And it's going to upload that online so other people can fight your AI and you can fight against your AI as well. And eventually what's going to happen is AIs are going to be created that you can download off the internet in the full version and challenge. So it's actually a neat mode, and I think I fought something like 15 different AIs that were only in the demo. They weren't from online, they were just in the demo. And so we fought a wide variety of characters. It was actually quite neat because we got to see a good variety of characters from the game, probably about half the cast, I would argue, in this demo. And they were fun and they were challenging because these AIs do combos. Like, they would hit you once, counter hit, and then all of a sudden, juggle, juggle, now you're on the ground, juggle on the ground, juggle on the ground. It's like, whoa. They hit you once, they take like half your health bar, and that's realistic. That's what real Tekken's like. So, it was quite challenging, but I had fun, beat all them. So, I had a good time with that, and then after that, we even had a little bit of extra time, so we ended up doing a little bit of Q&A, just like a 30-minute Q&A session to end the stream. So, I basically turned that first stream, which was going to be a disaster, into something great because of my on-the-fly thinking. And because you guys were very receptive to the change, it went really well. I want to say thank you to anyone who was there because the funny part is, previously, if I ever quit a game, people would give me shit. In the case of Resident Evil 0, I'm not even kidding you, people supported my decision. Like, if you read the comments, people were commenting on the video, they were like, yeah, he did the right thing. Like, this game is bad, and he got himself in a situation. There's no way he was going to win this unless he got lucky It was going to take him hours to do this, and it's just not worth it. He's already beaten it. I'm glad he didn't keep suffering. And it's funny because, again, I'm 41 years old. I'm in a position now where basically I'm older, and I got limited time on this earth, and I kind of realize that now. I realize I'm not a youngster anymore, right? And I'm in demand to do so many things at once. At any moment, everyone's like, hey, play this game, play that game, do this on stream, do that on stream, right? Everyone wants to see something. At any moment, if I stop doing one thing, I can easily do other things people want and will enjoy. So it's not like I'm stuck only doing one thing, and then if I change my mind or something goes wrong, oh no, disaster, now we have nothing to do. It's kind of the polar opposite of that, right? And I'm happy about that. I don't want to put myself into positions where I'm just not having fun and force myself to keep going, because then no one enjoys it. I don't enjoy it, you don't enjoy it. What's the point? You know? You got to understand that there is an audience out there that just loves to torture me. I don't give a fuck about them, and they don't support me. So I don't give a shit about what they say, right? There was no one who, if I toughed through the end of Resident Evil 0, was going to come to stream and be so grateful and support the stream because I beat it. It was going to be the contrary, right? So who gives a fuck about that? So anyway, it was great. I'm glad that I did that. The on-the-fly changes were good. And we had a good time yesterday. The stream overall went really, really well, all right? So then the late stream last night was my conclusion stream of Street Fighter 6. When I say conclusion, I don't mean I'm never playing it again. I mean I'm not going to consistently be playing it as the major fighting game on this channel any further. I've done that for 7 months. I've hit the wall in the game where essentially you can't get better at this game unless, number one, I were to switch to PC and do things with the PC to reduce input lag so I can react better to things like throws, drive impacts, and blocking high-low, none of which I can react to anymore at the master level. It doesn't work. And number two, if I played way more and started playing really hardcore, like playing it all the time, and I'm not going to do either of those things, all right? It's not that worth that much of an investment for Street Fighter 6 for me. I basically hit the wall after 7 months. I'm never going to get any better. I'm at 1,500 points, master points with Blanca. Sometimes I go above, then I dip, then I go above, then I dip, and I always stay there. It's never going to change. So at this point, it's just kind of like, how many times do you want to spin your wheels without moving, right? So anyway, the final stream was about 50-50 for me. There were some matches I really enjoyed, and things went well, and I did pull off some good combos and tactics, and other matches were absolutely atrociously bad, with half my inputs being dropped, can't block. Like, I don't want to play this anymore. I said it multiple times. She was like, I'm so glad I'm not playing this anymore. Because when you get to that point where everyone plays exactly the same pattern play, and it's all abusable, and you can't do anything about it because online doesn't react fast enough, and you just like, I don't want to do it anymore. It's just not fun. It's lost that spark of fun that it had when it was more everyone learning, okay? So there you go. So yeah, that's the deal. And Street Fighter 6 ended last night. Overall, here's what I want to say about Street Fighter 6. I want to give like a final thoughts on the game here, okay? Street Fighter 6 is the best modern fighting game I've played. It outshines every other game that I've played in the last 10 years, really. It's that good of a game. Capcom put a ton of time and effort into making this what people wanted of all types, rather than just one small group or not listening at all and doing whatever they wanted. They literally listened to all the feedback from Street Fighter V and came out with a really great product. Really great graphics, a diverse and differentiated play styles of a launch cast, tons of gameplay modes, both for people who are competitive and non-competitive, offline and online. And yes, the best netcode of any fighting game I've ever played. Okay? That's amazing. It's not perfect, you know. Like I said, what's happened to me is I hit master level with all the characters I'm using, and it hit the wall, because now you realize, even with netcode this good, it's just still not good enough for a game where they have an upper echelon of players and classes where all they have to do is play a pattern, and you can't beat it without reacting to it, but you can't react to it perfectly online with the netcode as it is. Still the best netcode out there, still not good enough for competitive play, but still the best you're going to get in any fighting game, right? So it's kind of like, well, what's the lesser of two evils? The lesser of two evils is playing this and realizing you cannot really play it at a high level unless you go crazy. Buy a high-end PC, tweak the fuck out of the inputs to have no input delay and be able to then play it at a high level like most people in Master have. Most people in Master are on PC doing that. So unless you're going to be that crazy serious, it's not a big deal, right? So for me, I loved it. I enjoyed the 7 months, and I want to say thank you to everyone who was along for that crazy ride. It was super fun trying out different characters, having these fun nights. You know, we had community nights come back for the first time of any game in ages, right? Years and years since I did a community night, and we did that with Street Fighter 6, and that was really fun. You know, getting the characters to master level, and then different kinds of characters rather than just 1 or 2. It was 4 characters, and we almost got Zangief to there as well. And thanks to everyone who, of course, supported it. I wouldn't have been able to play Street Fighter 6 as much as I did if it wasn't for you guys and your ongoing support. Just being honest, you know. Fighting games are not my forte anymore. Fighting games are not something that necessarily people come to this channel to see because I stopped playing them consistently for so very long. Street Fighter 5 actually, like, broke my interest in fighting games where I just didn't want to play them anymore because the game was so bad. I was like, wow, this used to be the industry leader, and they literally made the worst fighting game I've ever seen. And I can't believe that people are playing and supporting it because it's trash, and I just didn't care anymore, right? This game reinvigorated me to play fighting games again. And now I'm heading into Tekken 8 with a positive, open-minded attitude, willing to learn, willing to adapt and improve, and caring about it, which I didn't before. My attitude before was, play it for a week. Play through the story, fuck around online, mess around, then start to lose, and just stop playing. And that's really not the mentality I have anymore. I want to actually learn this game and get better at it and, you know, wide cast the characters and everything. I think it's going to be super fun. So I certainly hope you guys will join me for that. But for those who are here along for the ride in the journey of Street Fighter 6, thank you. You made this possible. You know, all this fighting game stuff that I may do now in the future is literally because people supported my journey through Street Fighter 6. And I really, 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 really appreciate that. Thank you so very much to everybody, okay? Alright, so Street Fighter 6, stick a fork in it. It's done. Now, will I go back to the game? Yes, I can guarantee you I will. But it's not going to be any timely manner. Like, what I find hilarious is that Tekken 8 comes out on Friday. So what does Capcom do? They had just announced 2 days ago, oh, Ed is coming out, the next DLC character, in February. Your major competitor has a brand new game with 32 characters that's coming out this week. People will be playing the living shit out of that game for months. Nobody cares about Ed. Literally no one. Besides the most hardcore of fucking players who think they need to have the competitive edge in Street Fighter 6. Nobody else gives 2 fucks about Ed releasing in Street Fighter 6. I certainly don't, right? So, am I going back to Street Fighter 6 to play with Ed? Fuck no. Fuck no, I'm not. No, I'm going to be playing Tekken. I don't care about that, right? Now, will I eventually play Street Fighter 6 again and play Ed? Yes. And when Akuma comes out later this year, yes, I'll check that out. And when there's a Season 2 update, when they tweak all the characters and rebalance the game, yes, I'll check that out too. But there is no way I'm going back to Street Fighter 6 in February. They're out of their fucking minds. That's just pathetically bad timing. And it's almost like, hey guys, so we want to stay pertinent. Hey, we're going to have a DLC character. Like, no one cares. No one cares, man. Anyway, and one final thing, because people have brought that up. They said, well, you didn't beat story mode. I mean, you're right. For what I'm to understand, it was going to be a nightmare to beat. The final chapter of story mode that I was in, the tournament, is so difficult that you literally have to grind for hours on end to artificially level up your character to beat it, which is stupid because you never have to do that in story mode until that point. And even my biggest fans of the Street Fighter gameplay were messaging me being like, just so you know, this is going to be terrible. It's not going to be fun to watch. You're going to rage. And everyone's going to be like, wow, this sucks. If you haven't noticed, no one ever asked me to go back to it. No one. I think there's one person who was hoping I would. That's it. Like, no one really cared. It kind of sucks that they did that and they kind of ruined the end of the story mode. I think that it would have been better if it was just like a fight or something instead of a tournament of insanely over-leveled characters. That didn't make sense that they did it that way. So anyway, am I ever going to be going back to that? I don't know. Only if you guys want, and I've been waiting, and there's been absolutely no demand for it, so that's why I didn't really care about it. All right, so there you have it. Goodbye, Street Fighter 6. Thanks for watching, everyone. Of course, keep in mind, the literal hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of hours that I put into that game are all live on this channel in appropriate playlists per month, and it's easy to find character matches and stuff. If you're ever interested, you could go back and watch. Enjoy all the rage, right? At the online play. So, all right.
I got the drip going. I got the drip going.
I got the drip going. I got the drip going. I got the drip going. I got the drip going. I got the drip going.
It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean, these dumb kids. This is what it is, it's dumb kids.